hug that right knee in if you're not there already, and open it out to the side. We're dragging that outer right hip down towards the left big toe. And then go ahead and bring the right knee over towards, actually we're going to place it over top of the left thigh here, coming back to that figure 4, interlacing the fingers underneath the left thigh or over top of the knee. And keeping that right ankle flexed, we're going to gently rock a little bit here, side to side as well. And saying hello to the glutes and the hips. Again, keeping that nice, slow, deep breath. That nourishing, cleansing breath. And then finding some stillness here, gently pressing so energetically pressing the thighs away from your body, especially that right knee. Again, you want to make sure that right ankle is flexed to protect the knee. And feel the sides of the body nice and long. And taking another breath here. Exhaling everything out. Let's go ahead from there. Just go ahead and bring your left foot down on the mat, and we'll stretch that right leg or the top leg towards the ceiling, interlacing the fingers underneath the right thigh here. And if you have a strap at home, you want to use a strap, you're welcome to use that as well. We're going to maybe stretch the left leg out long as well. So you start to feel, again, the hamstrings and that outer hip pressing down towards the left big toe. We can point through the ankle and spread through the toes. Relax the ankle now. That feels good. So you can lengthen the inner thighs long. And feel the outer thighs plug back into the hip socket. It's a very subtle feeling. Maybe it's just a visualization. But you can definitely feel those outer hips go back in as you hug the midline. From here, we're going to lift the heart, excuse me, lift the heart and the chest up towards the thigh. So that right leg is still perpendicular to the ground. A couple deep breaths. Using your core to stabilize here. If you feel any tension in your neck, you can always lay your head back down. If you want to lift the left leg up off the ground here as well, and maybe even reach your arms towards that bottom foot. You can apply that, incorporate that Pilates breath. So out through the mouth, making an SH sound. It's really powerful breath. Engage transverse abdominis in the pelvic floor. Inhale a little higher. Inhale just a little higher. And gently release. From there, we're going to hug that right knee back into chest and kick it all the way over to your left side. Opening up the right arm, turning your gaze over the right shoulder, releasing the neck. And some of you might like to modify this single leg twist if you feel any tension in your back here. You can bring your knees, both of your knees together. You can also place a blanket or pillow or a block between the knees to make this twist a little more supportive. But you do want to make sure your right hip is stacked above the left and the pelvis is congruent. The twist is really coming from your core and going up the spine and neck. And gently coming back to center here when you're ready. Hugging that right knee back in. And then we'll go ahead and stretch the legs out long. Come into your Shavasana here for a moment. And just notice what you notice. Every day is different. And then gently coming back. Again, walking the feet back up. Let's bring your left knee now in towards your chest and then stretch your right leg out long. We're circling the toes and the ankles around. Circle around the other way. And then go ahead and guide that left knee towards your armpit, opening up through the hips. Again, we're trying to drag the outer left hip down towards the right big toe. Excuse me. And then we'll guide that left foot back over on top of the right thigh, flexing that left ankle a lot, interlacing the fingers underneath the right thigh or over top of the knee. Again, we can gently sway this a little side to side, just rocking, cradling. Make sure to keep that left ankle really strongly flexed. And then again, finding some stillness here as you press the thighs and the left knee away from you, making the sides of your body longer. And from here, let's go ahead and place the right foot down on the mat. Stretch the left leg straight up towards the ceiling, interlacing underneath the thigh here. You can always bend that top leg as well if you need to. From here, we can slowly stretch through the right leg. Try to feel again that outer left hip pressing down towards the right big toe. Again, we're hugging that midline, keeping the hips square, the pelvis neutral, the spine neutral. So you should feel a space between the lower back and the mat again. Spreading through the toes, let's point the ankles, spread the toes out, and see if we can feel the inner leg lines getting longer. So lengthening those inner thighs. You're also going to feel that, of course, through the back of the leg. And then feel the outer thighs at the same time plug back in towards the hip socket. You'll hear me cue that quite often in Warrior 2 as well. So see if you can feel that same sensation here in Warrior 2. And from here, we're going to lift the heart and chest up nice and high again, maybe. So we're going to stay here for a couple breaths, lifting. Remember, you can always come back down. The right leg is barely lifting off the mat, maybe a couple of inches, if you like. You can also add the arms here, reaching forward towards that right big toe. And we're breathing deeply, strongly. Of course, you don't have to wait for my cues. Lift a little higher. Stay here a little longer. Inhaling a little higher. And a little higher still. One more breath. Beautiful. We're going to slowly bring that left knee back in towards the chest and guide it over to your right. So coming back into that single leg twist here, we can open up the left arm or the opposite side and turn your gaze over the left shoulder. Again, you can modify this twist as well, however you need to. Just make sure the left hip is stacked above the right. Cleansing, nourishing breaths. The twist sort of turn you into a new perspective, into a new story here. So just listening as we breathe deeply. Letting go with each exhale, just loosening our grip a little more, softening a little more, becoming a little more receptive. Excuse me. And then we let go of that story as we come back, knee in towards your chest, and stretch that left leg long. Again, maybe finding a nice little Shavasana corpse pose here for a few moments. Notice what you feel. And from here, let's go ahead and walk the feet back up onto your mat. Maybe again, you might give yourself a little massage or a big hug. And we can roll onto your side to push yourself up. Use the ground for support, or you can rock and roll yourself up using your core a little bit. From here, we're going to go ahead and come back onto our feet. Let's bring the knees together and the feet together. So curling the toes under to stretch and find that big toe extension. We're interlacing the fingers, rooting down through the seat as you inhale, press down to reach up. And as you exhale, let's press forward through the palms, around through that upper back. Again, inhale, stretch all the way up overhead. Maybe look up. As you exhale, interlace the fingers behind you. Press knuckles against the sacrum. Bend the elbows back in yoga mudra. Elbows back like wings. And we take a deep inhale, lift the heart. Breathe up. And then again, as you exhale, let's bring the chin and belly button towards your spine. Chin in towards the throat. Inhale, stretching long, stretching the knuckles away. And exhale, releasing. You can come down off of the toes at any point. We're going to try this again. Inhale, reach up. This time as you exhale, we're bending the elbows over to one side, chin in and head back slightly. Take another breath here. Exhaling. Inhale, pressing back up, maybe look up, lift the heart. Exhale, bending the elbows over to the other side, chin in and head back slightly. And from there, inhale, let's press the palms to face you this time. And as you exhale, rounding through the spine so your palms are facing you, it almost feels like you're trying to break your fingers apart. So really stretching those outer shoulders and outer arms. And then maybe pulling the shoulders back one at a time, alternating right and left. So we get this nice little stretch through the outer shoulder and the wrists a little bit. And then we'll release the hands again. Roll the shoulders back, interlace the opposite forefinger and thumb on top, bending the elbows back, deep breath in. And deep breath out, tuck the chin and belly in. Again, as you're ready, inhaling, stretch the knuckles away. And exhaling, release. So from here, we're going to go ahead and come off of the feet. If you haven't done so already, we're going to circle the toes slowly around. Circle the other direction. And then relax those feet, let them thump and flop. And then bring the feet together, knees together. We're going to sit back into the heels and just raise the knees as high as it feels comfortable. Feel that nice stretch through your shins and the tops of the feet and ankles. Let this be a little bit of a meditation. This too shall pass. And slowly coming back up. Take a moment as you stack tall, shoulders directly above the hips. Observe as you breathe. From here, we're coming back onto your hands and knees or tabletop. So knees are hip distance apart, hands are shoulder distance apart. Let's go ahead and open the fingers nice and wide as well, and pressing into the finger pads and the knuckles. We're going to send the inner thighs, lift them up and back, lengthening your spine. You feel a little lift in your gut here as you inhale. There's that lift and stretch in your tummy. And then as you exhale, we're going to curl into cat, pressing into the shin bones and the fingertips as well as you curl, tuck the chin. Again, as you're ready, inner thighs lift up and back. You can go at your own pace. Try to move slowly and again, lengthen the breath. So we're following that long, smooth breath. Inhaling, because the body knows where to go for some of you that have been practicing. The body knows where to go, but we want to let the breath guide. Wow, excuse me. So we want to really let the breath guide instead of letting the body take over that autopilot mode. So we inhale, lengthen through the spine here again. And as we exhale, looking all the way back towards your tail, stretch the neck and the shoulders. Inhale, coming back to the center. And exhale, looking all the way back through the tail. You can feel that nice long stretch to the side waist as well. And then inhale, back through center. Let's exhale, curl the toes under, just stretch up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And gently walk the feet here in place. You can send the hips also side to side. Stretch those glutes. Stretch out through the calves, the hamstrings, the hips, the shoulders, whatever's needed here. And maybe you find some stillness here. You can bend into the knees as much as you need to. Sometimes I like to deeply bend the knees, lifting the hips real high, stretching the shoulders, but also the lower back here as you rest the belly onto the thighs. You keep those hips high and the back nice and flat. And maybe gently shake your head from side to side or up and down. If you are feeling like the shoulders are a little bit tight, you can widen the hands further apart, or if they're in pain, you can also come down onto all fours, or do this in a hanging forward fold, so there's no pressure on the shoulders. And then from here, we'll go ahead and come forward into a plank pose. Tailbone down towards the heels. Again, we're pressing firmly into the fingertips and the knuckles. And we're protracting the shoulder blades, trying to broaden the shoulders wide and the upper back towards the ceiling. It almost feels like you're caving in your chest a little bit, keeping your core strong. Another deep, slow breath here. And as you exhale, let's bring your left knee towards your left shoulder. This can also be done on the knees. Inhale back to plank. Exhale, right knee towards the right shoulder. Inhale to plank. Again, you can lower to the knees at any time. Exhale, left knee to left shoulder. Inhale, plank. Exhale. Inhale, plank. Exhale. Inhale, plank. Exhale. Inhale, plank. Good, and maybe bring the left knee up to your chest. Lift that heel nice and high. And then the right knee up to your chest, heel nice and high. And left, and right, and left, and right. Maybe it becomes a little bit of a mountain climber here. Get the heart rate up a little bit. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Stretch those shoulders. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale, open the mouth. To downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. I think I'm going to align this breath here. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's come down into puppy pose or heart pose. You can, this is Anahata Asana actually, and we can bring your chin or forehead down to the mat. Relax your shoulders. Deep, slow breaths. Really see if we can breathe into the belly. Allow your belly to also relax here on the inhales especially. And relax into your lower back. Soften the shoulders into the earth, the chest towards the earth. From here, we'll slowly drag the hands back towards you, underneath your shoulders, rounding your spine in cat. Send the inner thighs lift up and back again as you inhale, lift the heart. And as you exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Let's bring the fingers facing each other so that the palms are facing up towards the ceiling or towards you. We inhale, stretch the fingers up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. Just give those wrists a little break. Inhale, a nice little stretch. Fingers to the ceiling. Exhale, open. One more time, fingers to the ceiling. And if you'd like to here, we can take some push-ups for the wrists. So just allowing some of these other muscles to engage in the weight bearing here. We're leaning forward as much as we can. And then as we sit back, maybe into the heels, or you could sit up onto the knees, we'll do a little circling of the wrists. So we're bringing the backs of the hands together, circling forward, down, all the way around. And then we're circling the opposite direction. So again, we start with the backs of the hands together. And you just kind of roll through those wrists. Beautiful. From here, let's roll the shoulders. Take a nice deep, slow inhale. Reach up towards the ceiling. Palms to touch. As you exhale, we'll come down through the center. Inhale, maybe press up onto the knees. Reach up. Lift the heart. Exhale from here, we're gonna circle the arms around. And maybe if you'd like here, coming forward, kind of slithering through like a snake. So we're gonna keep the triceps and elbows close into your body as you bring your chin and chest towards the floor. We can bring the whole body down, roll the shoulders back and down, take a deep, slow inhale, lift up the heart, lengthen the spine, exhale. Let's tuck the chin and roll through the spine here. Inhale, so we're squeezing the triceps into your body. Exhale, keeping the shoulders down as well. Tuck the chin in towards the throat as you inhale. The head is the last thing up. Your gaze is the last thing to rise as you exhale. We slowly lower, and head is the last thing to come down. Last time, inhale, strengthening those triceps, strengthening the legs to support the spine and back. When you're ready, inhale, press it up. Exhale to downward facing dog again, Adho Mukha. And remember, you can always widen the hands or the feet up as far apart as you need to make this workable for your body today. And remembering that every day is different for your body, so leaving the space and compassion for that. And then from here, let's go ahead and walk your feet forward all the way up to the top of your mat. And take a nice inhale. Inner thighs lift up and back. We're raising halfway up, flat back. Exhale and deepen your fold. Inhale again. Inner thighs lift, halfway up, flat back. Exhale and deepen your fold. Let's go ahead and sit down like you're in an imaginary chair. Hook the thumbs here. Spread the fingers wide as you inhale. Stretch all the way up. Lift the heart. As you exhale, we're pressing down through the left foot to come up and over to your right. Feeling like you're trying to rip your thumbs apart. Again, we inhale. Spread the fingers wide. Lift the heart. Exhale. Lengthen. Press down through the right foot as you go left. Inhale again, root down to rise. Upper back bends, heart lifts. As you exhale, we're going to bend into the knees, interlace the fingers behind you, root down through those feet. Stretch your shoulders here. So we're bending the knees a lot to stretch the shoulders. Your belly and chest may be resting on your thighs. If and when you feel ready, you can stretch the legs. Another deep breath here. As you exhale, release the arms down towards the mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway to rise again. Inner thighs lift up and back. Exhale and deepen your fold. Let's go ahead and step back your left foot back into a deep lunge. Hips are nice and square. We're going to pull that right hip in and back. Left thigh bone forward. And let's go ahead and lower onto your left knee here. From here, right hand to your hip. We're stretching the left arm toward the sky as you inhale, lengthen through your thighs. Reach up. As you exhale, come up and over to your right side, stretching the left side of the body. Again, inhale, maybe rolling your heart towards the sky. Exhale, stay here, really press down through that right big toe. One more time as you inhale, we're coming back up. And as you exhale, we can bring the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. It's almost like you're trying to press your thigh in, so it's internally rotating, but your foot stays pointing forward. And then we're bringing the palms together to prayer. Or you could also bring your right hand to your sacrum if you need to. And we want to try to zip up through the belly. Feel your navel draw in towards your spine and feel that twist start from the belly button up. Deep cleansing breaths here. We want to avoid dumping into the shoulder here as much as we can. Again, this is going to be really strong in your core. We're trying to press against that thigh to create some leverage here, to twist. Deep cleansing breaths into the belly. Wringing out as you exhale. You're wanting to make this a little bit stronger. Maybe you'd like to lift the back knee off the ground. Deep, slow breaths. You can also take your gaze down or up, whatever is comfortable for your neck. Dragging that right hip in and back. Take one more deep breath here. Lift the heart. And exhale, gently release. Lower that back knee if it's not already. Couple breaths, it's like the calm after the storm. And then if you like, you can slowly stretch the right leg out in front of you, maybe even wiggle that right heel forward. So we want to keep the hips coming forward as though you're moving into the splits. We're going to just turn the toes side to side. Again, this is a good place for blocks underneath the hands if you need. Or you could also just bend your right knee as much as you need to. Listening to your lower back here as well. You can circle the foot around too here if you like. All right, and lunging forward from here. Let's go ahead and bring your hands to the inside of that right foot. So we're still on the same side. You're welcome to stay up on your hands or maybe your fists if your wrists are feeling a little tired or cranky. We're pulling that right hip in and back, left thigh bone forward. So it feels as though you're trying to drag your right heel or your front heel back towards your left thigh, and your left knee or your back knee is trying to come forward to meet your heel, front heel. Some of you might even like to come down onto blocks, maybe on your forearms, or if you can come all the way to the ground, just listen again that you're not compensating elsewhere in the body. Your upper back, mid and upper back can round here, but you don't want a big rounding in your lower back. So there's also support from the front of the pelvis. The front body is supporting the back body, supporting that lower back here. And maybe go ahead and roll to the outer edge of your right foot towards the pinky toe edge. So now we've got this kind of like, you can even rock it a little bit if that feels okay. And your toes can point, your front toes can point slightly towards the upper corner of your mat, towards the right. You can rock this back and forth. It's almost kind of like cradling in that hip opener, the figure four. Again, you want to keep your right ankle also flexed, strongly flexed here to protect that right knee. Some of you might even like to come up and bring that left foot towards you. This is multiple poses in one. You can bring your reach back with your right hand for your heel, your back heel, or maybe even your back foot. You want to try to lift the belly actually away from the ground. So it's going to lift in and up, away from the ground to get that stretch now through the quadriceps. So this is many directions of movement for your joints here, where this becomes your twist, your back bend even, and a little heart opener. The back bend is the heart opener. You've got the quadriceps stretch, you've got the hip stretch. Deep cleansing breaths. And again, we want to be careful not to dump into the left shoulder here. So lifting the heart and the gaze towards the sky. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, we release. Let's go ahead from here. We're going to just walk that right foot over to the left. And maybe come into your pigeon pose here, hip square. If pigeon's too much today, you can put a prop, a blanket or pillow, bolster up your right hip. We want to keep the hip square here. So you're trying to drag the left thigh bone forward and the right hip back, or right thigh back. The same thing as we've been doing in our lunge there, or in the lizard pose. An alternative to this pose, if you don't want to go back onto your back into figure 4 again, you could also do bend into the back knee and then fold over it this way. So it kind of becomes like a little, in dance we call this attitude, with the legs bent. So both knees can bend here. So this is much easier on the hips as well if you don't have props. Maybe much kinder to your knee joint as well, if you have knee issues. And of course, if you do feel any twinginess in your knee or pressure on your knee, please come out of the pose and just make your way into figure 4 or any other hip stretch that works well for you. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the left foot over top of the right thigh, sitting nice and tall onto your sits bones. And then left arm's coming around behind you, right arm up towards the sky as you inhale, lengthen. On exhale, we can hug the left thigh in, grow a little taller through your spine as you root down through your seat, pushing up through the crown. Again, take a deep inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, we're looking over the left shoulder and beyond, keeping the heart, chest, and shoulders wide and broad. And again, you feel that twisting, that deep ringing out from your core. What can we let go of today? What concept of normal can we let go of as we make these changes and adjustments to our lives for the time being? And one more breath here. And then releasing. Left leg's gonna reach all the way around and back behind you for back into your pigeon. We're coming all the way up and back to downward facing dog. And just feel the difference there. Noticing the difference between the right and left side. From here, let's go ahead and stretch your left leg up towards the ceiling, keeping the hips square for now, up on your tippy toes. And as you exhale, lower the heel, try to maintain that left leg. Inhale, back up on your tippy toes. Exhale, gently lower the heel. One more time as you inhale, we're gonna bend the left knee now, stack the hip. Try to keep your left shoulder square, left shoulder down so the shoulders stay square as the hips open. We're bringing the left knee towards your left shoulder here, hold it. And then step it forward. Let's go ahead and bring it right between the hands here. From here, we're going to push off the back foot to come into a warrior 3 for a moment. Pushing through that heel, hips are square, outer thigh is rolling down, and then go ahead and step the feet together, fold. Then you can maybe feel a huge difference here between the right and left side. Maybe, maybe not. That's okay. Just notice what you notice. So sitting back into your chair again, we're going to hook the opposite thumb in front this time. Inhale, root down to stretch all the way up. And as you exhale, press down into your right foot, stretch up and over to the left side. Inhaling as you come back through center, lift the heart and the gaze. Exhale, press down through the left foot as you stretch over to your right. Again, like you're trying to break the thumbs apart. As you inhale, lift the heart, upper back bend, keep the lower body, lower back strong. Exhale, release the arms, interlace the opposite thumb on top. Again, bending into those knees, deep in your fold, deep in your stretch here through the shoulders. Let the head and neck release. You can stretch those legs long as you're ready to inhale. And then exhale, releasing the arms all the way down. Inhaling halfway to rise, lengthen the spine. And exhale, deep in your fold. From here, we're going to step the right leg back into a deep lunge. And again, make sure the hips are square, left hip in, right thigh bone forward. And we're lowering that right knee down. Left hand to your hip as you inhale, stretch long through the right side of your body. Exhale, up and over to your left side. As you inhale, come back up through center. And then exhale, right elbow to the outside of the left thigh here. So again, you're using your right arm, or kind of snuggling it in and trying to press that thigh, almost like you're trying to internally rotate from the hip. You're trying to internally rotate that leg, but the toes stay forward. So you really feel that deep twist in your core, hands to prayer, thumbs to the middle of your heart. See if we can lift our heart up towards the thumbs. And maybe take our gaze either up towards the sky, or you can keep it down at your foot, finding a still gazing point or drishti. And again, deepening that breath. Really bringing out with each exhale. What can we let go of today so that we can make space for healing, space for peace with what is. Again, some of you may like to press into that left foot to lift the back knee off the ground, stretching the back leg up, rooting down through the feet, strong through your legs and hips. Try not to dump into that right shoulder. One more breath here. And slowly, gently releasing back down to the floor. Right knee comes down, and we're going to send the left leg long and reach that heel or wiggle or hop it forward, however you need to. Send that right thigh bone up and forward. Again, like you're going to go into the splits. You can have blocks here to raise you up, or books, or whatever works for you. Soup cans. And just slowly turn your toes from side to side. Maybe again a little circle. And circle the other way. All right, let's go ahead and take this forward here into lunge. We can bring the hands to the inside of the foot, either staying here, or you can be on your fists here as well. If you want to be on your fingertips, that's a nice way to strengthen your fingers. Fingers need to be strong for inversions as well, or strengthened. So again, we're trying to drag your right knee towards your left heel, or the back knee towards the front heel. and vice versa. So the front heel is also coming back towards the back knee. It's just an energetic feeling, or like an isometric contraction, I guess. Deep cleansing breaths. And that's again to keep the hips square and everything else neutral, so that we're not bringing our body out of alignment. You can also sink into this a little bit more if you like. Just try not to go too much out of alignment again. So we're keeping that right thigh bone coming forward. Maybe you're coming down onto your forearms or onto some books or blocks here. Couple deep, slow breaths. Again, maybe you'd like to walk the foot out a little bit, roll towards the pinky toe edge of the foot. So again, you can see the bottom of your foot. And maybe kind of a little rocking motion here, back and forth, if that feels safe for your knee. You want to make sure, again, the left ankle is flexed a lot. Again, maybe from here, you're angling the toes towards the upper corner a little bit and bringing the right foot in towards you. So here we're lifting the belly, drawing the belly in and up away from the ground, maybe reaching back with the left hand to find your heel or foot. And we're drawing that tailbone down and the belly in to bring the foot towards the glutes here to stretch the quadriceps. And maybe you're rolling your heart toward the sky. You can deepen into your hip opener by pressing that left knee in toward down towards the earth, keeping that left ankle flexed. You can lift your chest up a little higher out of that right shoulder. Lift the gaze or turn the gaze down towards the earth if you need to. One more deep breath here. And as you exhale, releasing, we'll walk it back over, left foot over to the right side of your mat. Maybe coming into pigeon here. Maybe, maybe not. Some of us might bend into the back knee. So again, we're coming into this double attitude with the legs. Square the hips as much as we can and bow forward, fold, however feels good. So lots of different options. You can lie on your back in figure 4 if you feel any pressure on your knee. Come into this double attitude with the legs, or have a prop helping you underneath the left hip if you're in pigeon. Just try to keep both hips facing forward. So that means that back hip or that back thigh needs to pull forward. It's not going to move forward, but it's an energetic feeling again. And coming back to that deep cleansing and nourishing breath. And soften a little more with each exhale. It's also nice to rest your forehead onto something if you can rest it onto your hands, or maybe make fists or a block here. So let the weight of the head be heavy, releasing the neck fully, releasing the shoulders fully. When you're ready, inhaling to rise back up. And then we're bringing the right leg or the back leg all the way around across over the top of the thigh here, sitting nice and tall. I forgot to mention you can also bring the bottom leg out in front of you if you need to, if the hips are not sitting on the mat. Right arm behind you, left arm up. Inhale, stretch to the left side of the body. And as you exhale, we can hug the thigh in, sitting nice and tall again, lengthening. You can use that back arm like a little kickstand here. Nice and tall, and exhale, looking over the right shoulder and beyond. Cleansing, nourishing breaths. Maybe coming back to what can we let go of today. And then releasing from here. We're going to go ahead and swing that right leg or the top leg all the way back through your pigeon into downward facing dog. And spending a few moments here. Continue to externally rotate and protract the shoulder blades. It almost feels like you're raising your shoulders up towards your ears, or pushing those hips way up away from your shoulders. Again, you can bend the knees here a lot if you like. Stretch that lower back. Maybe coming forward, this time into a plank pose. Inhale into plank. Exhale, let's lower the knees and slowly lower. Elbows stay above the wrists, shoulders no lower than the elbows. And then come all the way down when you're ready. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift up into cobra. Open the heart, shoulders down. Exhale, and come down. And then reverse the push-up. We're going to squeeze the triceps into the body. You can curl the toes under. You can lift up onto the knees or into your plank pose, downward facing dog. Breathing deeply. Right leg can come up towards the ceiling, three-leg dog. So we slowly float it up. Very intentional movement. We're not just throwing the leg up. Outer thigh rolling down. We're up on the tippy toes to get up as high as we can. And then as you exhale, we're going to lower that left heel and try to maintain that right leg up a little bit. Inhale up on your tippy toes. Exhale, slowly, slowly lower the heel. Inhale up on the tippy toes. This time we're going to open the hip. So we're going to lift that right knee, bend the right knee above the left hip. Try to keep your right shoulder pressing down, away from the right knee. So think of lengthening your right shoulder away from the right knee, and the knee up away from the shoulder. Thigh towards your right knee towards your right shoulder. Squeeze and hold. Hug in the midline. And then just step that foot forward between the hands. We're going to push off the back foot, come into warrior three. Again, pushing through that heel, outer thigh, and pinky toe pointing down. And then bring the feet together or hip distance apart. Forward fold. Again, feel the difference on that side. Cleansing breaths here. Release the neck and the shoulders. Shake the head gently side to side. Up and down, or maybe you're circling around. Just be gentle and aware here as we circle gently, slowly. From there, you can bend into the knees. Let's go ahead and sit back onto your bottom so you can open the knees apart if you need to. And then we're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae slowly through your spine. Let's keep the legs squeezing together here, actually. Rolling down nice and slow. Trying to press down through the lower back first, sacrum, lower back, and then mid back. And then release the whole body into the earth. We're going to bring the feet hip distance apart, toes slightly angled in, heels slightly out. And go ahead and press down into all parts of your feet. So we want to keep the toes, the heels, everything grounded. Root down through those feet, lift through the hips. Sapja Bandha bridge pose. Or engaging the glutes, the hamstrings, and the inner thighs here. You can imagine if you had a block between your inner thighs and you're trying to squeeze that block. And maybe here you'd like to interlace the fingers underneath your body, rolling the shoulders back one at a time, all the way underneath you. Keeping your feet connected to the earth again. Take deep, slow inhale, let the belly rise. Longer, smoother exhale, navel towards the spine. Again, inhaling, filling your belly, filling the rib cage and the lungs fully. Like a big balloon, and as you exhale, navel to spine. Try that one more time, deep, slow breath in. Pause, and longer, smoother breath out. Slowly coming down onto your hands. So we're going to keep, if you can, keep those shoulders rolled back and just rest onto your hands here. Massaging your fingers and wrists and hands. We're going to take that one more time. Slowly raise the hips. Interlace the opposite forefinger and thumb over top, and then re-roll those shoulders back a little bit here. A couple deep breaths. Again, feel that warming of the glutes, the hamstrings, and the inner thighs. And then let your breath be the focus here. Cleansing, nourishing breaths. Again, inflating as you inhale like a big balloon. And exhale, drawing navel to spine. Imagine your whole body is that balloon. So as you inhale, your whole body is inflating. And exhale, slowly come back down to sit on top of your hands. See if you can keep those shoulders back and down underneath you for a moment. We're going to release the shoulders here. And then slowly bring the soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides, and Supta Baddha Konasana for your butterfly stretch. And maybe even let the flesh, pull the flesh out from underneath you. So again, you wiggle the sits bones away from each other and feel the back of your pelvis widen onto the mat. So there's a clear, generous space between your lower back and the mat. Natural curve of the lumbar spine. From here, right knee is gonna, so we're gonna keep the legs in this butterfly stretch, just the right knee is coming into your chest. And we're bringing that right leg over to the left. Open up through your right arm and turn your gaze over your right shoulder. So we're back into that nice supine twist here. Cleansing breath. Sending the breath all the way down to the bottom of the belly and all the way up to the top of the chest, all the way up into those collarbones. And sending it all the way back down. From here, we'll bring that knee back in and foot to meet the other foot and Supta Baddha Konasana. Again, just notice what you notice. Left knee is coming in towards the chest when you're ready. Hug it in, a little compression there, and then we'll bring that left knee over to the right side of you, all the way over to the right side. Open the left arm, turning your gaze over your left shoulder. Again, try to release the neck here. Turn it as much as feels good. Cleansing, nourishing breaths from the bottom of the belly all the way up to the tippy top. Pause and send it all the way back down. Bringing that knee back in towards your chest. And then bringing the foot again to meet the right, finding Supta Baddha Konasana once more. Notice what you notice. Sighing out whenever it feels good. Allowing yourself to let go fully. Allow that breath to nourish you and support you. Let's slowly fold the legs in towards each other, and we're going to bring the feet as wide apart as the mat again. You need a little windshield wiper here to release the low back and the hips and the side waist. So one last little wiper side to side, and then let's bring your knees to knock in towards each other again, or to support one another. Again, relaxing the lower back away from the ground, widen the back of the pelvis into the earth. Feel the legs lean on each other for support, just as we are leaning on each other here today. Feel the breath. Release the lower back. Again, softening and becoming more receptive with every breath. If you need to, slide the hands under the lower back again and wiggle the sits bones apart again so the knees are apart. Or wiggling the sits bones away from each other as we stretch the legs out nice and long into Shavasana, corpse pose. So opening up the legs a few feet apart, and then release the hands and the arms down by your sides a couple feet away from your body. So nice and open here as we make your way into Shavasana, corpse pose. If you need a final turn of the head from side to side really slowly, and just release that neck, let the head be heavy. Take some final slow cleansing, maybe even audible breaths. Scan through the body, letting go of any residual tension. If you need to wiggle anything out or reposition yourself in any way. And again, allowing yourself to just drop into the earth, give yourself to it. letting go of your practice now. Even letting go of the breathing practice, just feel it naturally and effortlessly rise and fall. It may still be long and smooth, but now it's just completely effortless. Allow the eyelids to grow heavier. Allowing the eyes to sink into the back of the skull. With the face and jaw release and soften. Maybe the tip of the tongue is just resting behind the front teeth. Feel the shoulders and the legs and the hips grow even heavier. And feel the chest is light, breath rising and falling effortlessly. And now you feel weightless, as though you're floating on the ocean, buoyant and light. And you feel the warm glow of the sun shining over you. And you feel the same healing, warm glow shining from within. You feel this healing, radiant light spread throughout the whole body, permeating each and every cell, permeating the space around you. And this healing light is infinite, reaching side to side, front and back of you, above and below. As you continue to send this healing light out into the world and down into the earth, you feel it come back to you tenfold. You realize you are one with this light. You are this light. You are one with all that is. And you are at peace with all that is. Breathing in peace, love, and light. Breathing out peace, love, light. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. And lying here in stillness as long as you like, or perhaps gently awakening the fingertips and toes, the ankles and wrists. Perhaps bringing the legs together, arms long behind you, stretching your whole body as you inhale. And again, melting here as you exhale back into the earth. Walking the feet back up onto the mat and knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug, wrapping the arms around the legs. Feel the whole length of your spine from your tail all the way up through the back of the neck. Lengthen the back of the neck. Chin slightly in. And rolling over onto your left side into a fetal position. Left arm as a pillow under your head. A couple deep, slow breaths here. Back into the heart space. As you take your next deep exhale, pressing into the right palm to slowly rise. And then go ahead and find a nice tall and comfortable seated posture, any posture that feels good for you today. Resting the hands onto your thighs or knees, keeping the eyes closed, and your gaze inward. Allow the shoulders and the arm bones to rest. Feel the shoulders stacked directly above the hips, heart space is open and wide. Feel space become free between each vertebrae as you root down through the seat to grow long and tall through your spine. Again, back of the neck is long and soft. Take a few more moments here in stillness and silence. Observe what you feel. And honoring the wisdom of the body and the wisdom of the breath or spirit. Honoring ourselves and one another as we join the hands together by the heart center in prayer. Lifting the heart slightly up towards the hands. As we bow the head in towards the heart again, taking deep cleansing and nourishing breaths. And maybe gently rubbing, or actually vigorously, quickly rubbing the hands, the palms together here, creating a warmth and a fire between the hands. Feel this warm, healing energy again as we rub the hands together quickly. And then placing the palms over the eyes. Feel that healing energy transfer to the eyes, that we can see light. Allow light to come in that we can see with a wider lens. Open our perspectives, open our minds to healing, to love, to peace and gratitude. And joining the palms together by the heart center in prayer. Sealing our practice and our intentions with gratitude. I bow humbly to you, to the light within each and every one. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.